Good evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson will be back from vacation next week, I promise. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Before we get to today's top news stories, we need to take a quick look outside our weather window at the story everyone's always talking about, the weather. This view from our Omi Gardens cam shows what the day was like today. Hot. It was hot. It's about 93, which was the predicted high right now as we speak. We're looking for some changes in that weather, though, in the days to come. Predicted gusty winds starting this evening, moving into tomorrow, probably into the rest of the weekend. But following that pattern, some cooler and more showery weather starting on Sunday and Monday. That's what you get when the wind blows through. It changes a little bit of everything. But now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A father and son barely avoided catastrophe when a tubing adventure on the Wenatchee River went badly wrong. Goats get the upper hand on fire danger around one of the city's most iconic gardens. And 50 years after the big burn up the Entiat Valley, the ground there is still giving up important scientific data. But first, a Chelan Falls man faces multiple charges after a two-car accident yesterday afternoon on Highway 2, 1 mile south of Orondo. The Washington State Patrol reports that just before 4:30, a Cadillac Seville being driven by 62-year-old Patrick Brighton crossed the center line and struck a Chevy pickup head-on. Brighton and a passenger in the pickup, 56-year-old Brian Williams of Wenatchee, were transported to Central Washington Hospital with injuries. The driver of the truck, 20-year-old Cesar Ramos Guerra of Entiat, was not hurt. Brighton faces charges of DUI, vehicular assault, and driving without a valid license. Rescuers say a father and son are lucky to be alive. Their float tube tipped in treacherous water yesterday on the Wenatchee River at Leavenworth, but they were able to negotiate severe rapids and pull themselves to safety. Chelan County Fire District 3 says the 56-year-old father and his 10-year-old son overturned as they tried to exit from the river near Barn Beach. They were swept downstream to a point just above what's known as Boulder Bend, a hazardous area that only experienced paddlers should try this time of year. That's about a 3/4 of a mile trip, by the way. The father, who's 56, managed to put his son back on the tube, but he himself was left in the water, and he was buffeted by the rapids until the two pulled themselves up on the riverbank. Neither was wearing a flotation device. Both of them refused medical treatment. Assistant Chief Glenn Broadisett says the risk of river accidents right now is very high.
The river is extremely dangerous right now at high levels of water. Not to mention, we've seen a lot of people that are out in the river with no life jackets on. This is the second river rescue incident that we've had in the last week. The one that occurred last Friday ended up being a fatality, unfortunately.
That fatal accident last week involved 65-year-old Allison Berman of Leavenworth. She died after a June 19th paddleboard accident in which she fell into the Wenatchee River and was trapped by a snag near Blackbird Island. A bystander was able to reach her only after she'd been underwater for several minutes. Berman died in hospital care on Monday. Well, a motorcyclist had to be transported to Central Washington Hospital after he collided with a deer on Highway 97 early this morning. Washington State Patrol Trooper John Bryant said passing motorists found 67-year-old James Featherstone of Chelan and his 2004 BMW R1200 in the middle of the highway about 2:12 a.m., and the badly injured deer was nearby. By the time a trooper arrived, Featherstone was up and walking around, but he complained of neck and back pain. Bryant said the deer had to be dispatched by a trooper. In addition to the State Patrol, Orondo firefighters and medical aid crews responded to the wreck about 6 miles south of the Beebe Bridge. Well, one of the jewels of the Wenatchee landscape, Omi Gardens, is closed for the season due to coronavirus concerns, but some special guests are being welcomed. The gardens rented about 300 goats this week to help clear brush on their property to the west. Goats and their huge appetites have become a popular way of making an area less vulnerable to wildfires. Here in Wenatchee, we first saw them being used in the wake of the 2015 Sleepy Hollow fire to consume fire-prone vegetation around the neighborhoods in the foothills. Now, coming up next, the Entiat burn is still big news for forest scientists 5 decades after it happened. And a young helper steps up when he sees state troopers in need of refreshment. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Owner Andrew Vickery brings years of experience to help you transition your backyard into a place where memories are made, family time is looked forward to, and friends are always welcome. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa offers many different styles and sizes of artesian spas, both new and used, as well as residential and commercial pool and spa services, regular maintenance and repairs, and all the chemicals required to keep your pool and spa crystal clear. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa today.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
You want to help others. You need a solid career. You can have both with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, stop by our campus at 595 Grant Road across from Safeway or visit chartercollege.edu.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. 50 years after it scorched 122,000 acres of wildland, the famous Entiat burn is still being studied and providing answers about fire recovery. That fire struck in August 1970, threatening the town of Ardenvohr. It also became the subject of this short film, Wildfire, released in 1971. A new study from the U.S. Forest Service's Pacific Northwest Research Station finds that areas in the burn zone that were salvage logged and seeded over the last 40 years showed less soil erosion and runoff than areas that were left to recover on their own. The researchers say there's many reasons that could be true, and there are endless possibilities for further study. Well, an effort to ensure that all children will have a mask, assuming they return to school this fall, begins Saturday with a mask collection at the Town Toyota Center. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., volunteers can drop off masks, with a need for masks of about all sizes, but especially size medium. Coordinators are asking that the masks be in a Ziploc bag with a label identifying their size. The event is being sponsored by Columbia Valley Community Health, Serve Wenatchee Valley, and the Eastmont and Wenatchee school districts. While investigating a car crash on Highway 2 Thursday afternoon in 90-degree heat, Washington State Patrol troopers received some welcome assistance from 11-year-old Evan Dahlke of Waterville. Trooper Jeremy Weber said it was much appreciated.
Hey, Trooper Weber, Washington State Patrol, District 6. I want to introduce somebody to you right now. This is Evan Dahlke. We were working on a scene, multiple troopers, and it's hot out. It's over 90 degrees, and we're sweating, but we're still working. And Evan comes over with a bag of water, and it's cold, and he gave it to all of us. This is like gold, and we appreciate him so much. You want to show him the coin we gave you? We gave one of our coins. He's got aspirations someday to join Fish and Wildlife. So he's got the bug. And we kind of told him we have some pretty cool stuff. We've got a drone that's about ready to fly so we can watch that. And we might convince him to come to the State Patrol. We don't know. But we want to thank you. Thank you for thinking about us. We appreciate that. All right. Have a good night.
Way to step up, Evan. Well, up next, East Wenatchee Mayor Jerry Lee Crawford is still having fun bringing video news bites from around her community. Eric Granstrom brings you that story, plus weather and sports just ahead on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Aging and Adult Care offers many in-home care options and services for seniors and family caregivers. But did you know they also offer free in-home delivered meals? Aging and Adult Care has expanded its program for home-delivered meals to help elderly and vulnerable adults at this challenging time. If you are in need of prepared meals or know someone who could benefit, call Aging and Adult Care for more information about free home-delivered meals. Call 509-886-0700.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
Uh-oh.
What?
I think I forgot to lock my Buick.
Parallel parking.
That hot yoga was so hot. Check this out. Cooling seats?
Alexa, ask Buick to start my SUV.
You can do that.
You can do that?
You can't do that.
You can with the Buick.
At the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Eric Granstrom. East Wenatchee Mayor Jerry Lee Crawford welcomes Kelly Kennedy in her Coffee with Crawford video this week. Kennedy is the CEO of Impact Events, the organization in charge of the Wenatchee Valley 4th of July celebration.
The great news is we get to have professional fireworks. So flags up for that. You know, they've been canceled so many places. We're so happy to say that yes, we will have professional fireworks over the Columbia River. In fact, they're going to be higher this year. We're going to go more aerial so that there will be more viewing places in the community. So that will be new. You'll be able to see it from farther away, other places around the river. The other things that are new is, of course, we're celebrating America's Independence Day, which is so special to so many people. And that is the same. The spirit of 1776 is amazing. We do, though, because of COVID-19, have to make some changes. And one of those big changes, unfortunately, is we cannot gather at the park. So 15,000 people at the park has been really fun the last 6 years for me to organize that and be with all that energy and families. This year, you can be at the park with your families until 6 o'clock. So come on down. The gates, though, to Walla Walla Point Park, Chelan PUD, they do need to close those gates, so no vehicles can go in the park, but you can park across the street at Town Toyota Center parking lot. They're going to keep their parking lot open. They have no events going on. Foot traffic is all welcome at Walla Walla Point Park all day until 6 o'clock when they do need to enforce it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do the professional fireworks this year. So, in essence, there's nothing at the park except for beautiful green grass, a river to play in, and hopefully a beautiful blue sky day. And then, of course, at 10 p.m., the professional fireworks will go off over the Columbia River.
I'm excited about it, and I'm glad we still get to watch. So the other piece that we're a little bit different from Wenatchee in that in East Wenatchee, you can do backyard fireworks.
Okay.
It's very limited. There's some restrictions on what types of fireworks you can do, and when you can buy them and when you can set them off. But we will have our fireworks stands here in East Wenatchee that will be selling their fireworks. What I'm excited about is they're doing curbside service so that we can still respect that social distancing. The companies have done a wonderful job of laying out a plan of sanitation and wearing the masks, of course, and social distancing.
What do you get when there's a weather change? Well, we get wind, and that's definitely our situation as far as the weather is concerned for the next 24 hours. Before we get into that, let's take a look outside our weather window today. Thanks to the Sky-Fi Wireless Network from LocalTel, taking a look down from our cross camera here to the Wenatchee Valley today. As a boater, if I'm out on the water and it's calm, but I see clouds that look like this, then I'm getting off the water because that looks like a lot of wind, and that's definitely what's in the
forecast. We'll see what happened as far as the almanac is concerned today. Yeah, sunny, hot one. 95 for our high here in Wenatchee today. We're normally at 81, so quite a bit higher than normal. 68 was the overnight low about 6 o'clock this morning. A warm overnight low. In fact, I went to take the garbage out about that time this morning and realized, oh man, it's hot out here already. Going to be a hot one today. 57 is our normal low for this time of year. The record high temperature, we finally shift off to that week from 2014 to 2015. 102 the record high temperature today. 43 the record low in 1976. No precipitation to talk about here until Sunday. That'll change. Sunrise this morning was at 5:06. Sun will set tonight at 9:02. As far as temperatures tomorrow, with the windy conditions through the night tonight, going to cool things down quite a bit, maybe 10 degrees less than what we saw today for Moses Lake tomorrow. 82, 81 in Freda, 80 in Quincy, 72 for Ellensburg. We'll be at 81 here in Wenatchee, 78 in Cashmere, 75 for Leavenworth, 62 Lake Wenatchee, so much cooler, 80 in Edian, 82 in Chelan, and in Omak. Now, as the surface loop gets underway here, you're going to see these pressure bands right here across eastern Washington. See how they tighten up there? That's when we get those windy conditions. You see the cloud cover that'll move in here over the weekend on late Saturday and into Sunday. That's going to bring us some thunder shower activity. Lots of activity over the Idaho Panhandle and western Montana with thunder showers, with lightning, with possible fire starts. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that one. But I wanted to show you that cloud cover situation. See how the bands get much wider as we get into the latter part of next week. By Independence Day next week, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Here's that precipitation that's going to hit over the Cascades tomorrow. Going to skip us until Sunday. And then watch what happens on Sunday. Not only do we get the precip, but look at all those lightning strikes all over eastern Washington in this central band. We're going to keep our fingers crossed for Sunday that we get rain with the lightning, but be prepared for fire conditions. As far as the rest of the week, we'll have some shower activity looking at Monday, Tuesday, and then things dry up by midweek next week. And as I mentioned, looking really good for the 4th of July holiday. As far as the temperatures are concerned, again, those temperature bands, if you go down to the Tri-Cities, I don't know why you'd go to the Tri-Cities this time of year, but here's the hot temperatures in Washington State, right here in the Tri-Cities, near 100 degrees today. Expecting another warm one tomorrow, but things will cool off as we get that cloud cover that's going to come in off the coast, and it's going to bring us some showers and going to cool us down. Much cooler by Sunday into the 70s. By middle of part of next week, as I mentioned, the temperatures will start to slowly rise once again as we get into July. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast now from the great folks at Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Well, here's at 95, 96 today, not too bad. Tonight it's going to be clear, but also very windy. Winds 14 to 21 miles an hour, some gusts to 34 miles per hour overnight tonight. Tomorrow we're also going to see the wind in the forecast. That's with this change that's coming in on the front of a cold system, on the back of a very warm temperature system. Get those winds always here in the Wenatchee Valley and north central Washington. So again, tomorrow gusting, steady winds 20 to 25, some gusts near 40 miles per hour tomorrow. And unfortunately, what for us is we're trying to set up cameras on tripods. That's also during our race coverage at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval. A pleasant night on Saturday night, 55 the overnight low. The good news is the winds should calm down for Sunday. Look at that cool temperature. We're going to go a 20-degree swing between today and Sunday with clouds moving in, showers, thunder shower activity as well. The good news is with the thunder shower activity, not expecting a lot of wind on Sunday. The rest of the forecast as we look at the rest of the week, looking at a few showers on Monday and Tuesday. Things drying out by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as we get towards the holiday next Saturday. Going to be gorgeous. And right now, anyway, no wind in the forecast for the 4th of July. So that's good news. High temperature should be in the 80s for the most part. Nighttime lows in the upper 50s. That's your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling forecast. I'll be back with the sports news coming up next as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community.
People spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it in the radio or seeing it in the newspaper, I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCWLIFE.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Finally Friday to you. 37 cars and drivers have signed up to race this weekend at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval. Most will take to the track tonight for the third practice session of the season on Fancher Heights. Then they'll begin hot laps at the Oval tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Fans will recognize many of the names participating this weekend, including last year's points champion in the Jerry's Auto Supply late models, Glenn Knutson out of Quincy. He'll face a challenge from brother Michael Knutson, Josh Ingram, and former three-time track champion Terry Halverson. Last year's Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning Thundercar champion Terry Osborne will look to take the checkered flag tomorrow night. 2019 runner-up Cameron Doyle will have something else to say about that. It's a family affair, and the Plum Perfect Roadrunners, as Moses Lake sisters Emily and Jamie Mackin will battle alongside cousin Brianna Mackin. And you'll have some fun watching the Bandolero class, as it's made up of 8 to 14-year-old drivers. Includes racers from Yakima, Spokane, Ephrata, Puyallup, and Charlo, Montana. Our coverage on the NCWLIFE channel will begin at 6 o'clock during qualifying. Racing gets underway at 6:30. The night will include heat races in each class of cars and main events in all 4 categories. It'll be a 25-lap main for the Roadrunners, 35 laps for the Thundercars, 20 laps for the Bandoleros, and 75-lap finale for the Pro Late Models. Hope you join us tomorrow night for all the action right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Well, following the release of restart guidelines for athletics and activities for schools across the state by the WIAA this week, local conference leaders met to discuss a plan of attack. Eastmont Athletic Director Russ Waterman says the Big 9 ADs met Thursday morning. He said while there's a push to find normalcy for student athletes, schools will be hamstrung by their county and where the county is on the phased Safe Start plan.
The feeling is we know what the socio-mental benefits are for the kids to get back and have some semblance to be around coaches and their teammates and doing things that they love to do. That's such an upswing for that. That's why you're seeing a lot of people maybe pushing the envelope a little bit more than maybe they should. For us at Eastmont, we're going to take it slow. We're going to see how things pan out. We've got new guidance from WIA. They just released it. They're extending the summer season. Before it would be the last day of July till opening of football, you could have no contact with your athletes again. They could still condition, they could still weight train, no coaching or anything else. They've pushed that out now to August 16th. So we've got some grace period, so we don't need to be in such a great hurry. But like you said, Yakima, I feel sorry for that community right now. They're just struggling. They're getting hit hard. I mean, they're in phase 1, and I don't know what's going to happen down there. I don't know if they'll ever get out of phase 1 right now. That's a tough situation. Grant County, Moses Lake is there, and Lawrence Sanhop was talking about they may move them back down to 1.5 because they've had a spike. But the consensus is that no matter where you are, you move forward. Move forward. We're not waiting for other Big 9 schools. We're not gonna say the season's over because 3 teams can't play in it. We're gonna move forward.
Yeah, so we're all waiting to see what happens. NCWLIFE has put together our fall broadcast schedule that includes 20 games, including football, starting on the opening Friday night. However, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the schedule and with COVID-19. Well, following actually the new Seattle NHL hockey team doesn't have a name yet, but the arena in which they'll play does. Amazon bought the naming rights to what was the Key Arena and announced Thursday it'll be called the Climate Pledge Arena. The facility will be powered 100% by renewable electricity and seek to achieve a zero carbon footprint. Amazon founder and CEO Jeff Bezos broke the news Thursday on Instagram. NHL Seattle CEO Todd Lewicki said in an interview yesterday that the arena aims to produce zero waste, will source food locally, and reduce all plastics by 2024. Climate Pledge Arena is expected to open by late next summer. Well, Eastern Washington University had already considered budget cuts across the board due to declining enrollment. Then the coronavirus hit, and those cuts will slash even deeper. Eagle Athletics were already facing a $5.9 million deficit when things were shut down in March. Now the department is being asked to take an additional 20% cut, an estimated $2.1 million. Athletic Director Lynn Hickey said Thursday that each of Eastern's athletic programs will lose 30% of their operating budgets. Administrators and coaches have been asked to take reductions in salary, and roughly 12 vacancies will not be filled. Hickey says they're also having to be creative in an approach to travel, such as commercial rather than charter flights, as well as busing instead of flying. Hickey was quoted in the Spokesman Review article as saying, quote, "Instead of eating a team meal at the hotel, you go to Golden Corral," end quote. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. I hope you join us for racing tomorrow night here at NCW Life with the Super Oval. No fans, so the only place to watch it is right here. Have a great weekend. Be safe and sane. We'll see you on Monday. Jefferson, back to you.
Eric, thank you very much. Don't get sunburned out there. Opibus Public Market says its 4th of July artisan vendor event is on this year, but it'll be held outdoors and with COVID-19 precautions in place. Local craftspeople will set up on the outdoor plaza at the market. Guests can enter a mask decorating contest to win Pibus gift certificates, and all the shops and restaurants inside the market are open with some health restrictions. The event runs 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the 4th. Finally tonight, exciting news from the Entiat National Fish Hatchery. The first tagged summer Chinook salmon of the year has made it back to the mouth of the Entiat River. The hatchery's tagging system detected the returning fish on Monday as it took a hard left from the Columbia to head back to the area where it spawned. The Chinook doesn't have a very memorable name for such a valiant explorer, though. Under the tag system, he or she is simply known as 3DA.1A19AF17CE. We'll have to hold a contest or something to come up with a better one. But now here's Dan Kuntz with a look at what's coming up Monday morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks very much, Jefferson. I hope everybody has a good and safe weekend coming up. We have a whole slew of very important interviews coming up next week. We're going to be talking to Captain Edgar Reinfeld about law enforcement and the 4th of July holiday. Speaking of that, we'll talk to Kelly Kennedy from Impact Events, whose company is putting on the Let's Have a Blast 4th of July festivities in an abbreviated sense. Also, Jefferson Robbins' interview with Dr. Malcolm Butler from Columbia Valley Community Health and the Chelan Douglas Health District. And even we'll check in with our friends from the NCESD. It's going to be a busy week next week. Can't wait to see you start next week, Monday morning, live and local at 7 a.m. with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Jefferson, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or at our website, ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we would like to hear from you. You can send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Give us a call, 888-6295. That's 888-NCWL. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Grant Olson is back on Monday. Have a great weekend. Don't forget your mask.
Few things strike fear in the human heart, like the possibility of a rattlesnake bite. Dogs can encounter rattlesnakes on their walks or in their yards, and being curious, often get bitten on their face, neck, and legs. Luckily, a vaccination is available to help neutralize venom so dogs experience less pain and swelling. Even if your dog has received a vaccine, you still need to seek immediate help. Dr. Shauna Bayes and the staff of Paws and Claws care about your pet's health. Call 888-PAWS to schedule your vaccination today.
In a world afraid of technology, one man, one show will bring you the newest innovations that may just change your life. This summer, Ray McNeil and your Weekly Tech Update is your Weekly Tech Update with Ray McNeil.